Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about a Chowhound article that listed states outside of Kentucky for bourbon fans to explore. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host Steve Akeley, as well as our special guests, Katie Joyce, Kathy Cool, and Matt Monica.
Hey gang, what's up?
Hello.
Hey-oh, so yeah, we're going to be talking today. Again, this list is put together by Chowhound, not by us. The show is about talking about this article. Do we agree with their assessment and their backup reasons behind that? So we'll get to that after the break. For right now, though, Matt said there's something he wanted to talk about. What is that, sir?
Yeah. So curious, what everyday kind of action or thing makes you either feel like you're rich or that you observe on somebody else that you think like, wow, they've got to have money, right? But it's like an everyday thing, right? So the example that I would come up with would be, I had a friend growing up, or actually my family growing up, we had Dixie cups in the bathrooms.
Oh, that's a great one.
Right?
Okay,
so
I like what you're doing.
People are like, oh wow, yeah. Curious.
Yeah. We weren't allowed to have Dixie cups. My mom is big into that. Nothing with that sort of disposable part to it because that's expensive. She would tell you. So yeah, we couldn't have had that.
One for me, there's like two levels of it. Bottled water, just in the house, although you have perfectly good access to regular water. But then that's like you're doing like well enough. But the step up from that is like fancy bottled water.
Fancy bottled water.
Like nice bottled water. You keep it in the fridge. Is like, because like
that's a good one.
Like
that's
fancy bottled water is expensive.
Right.
Yep.
And fancy bottled water in the fridge. Yeah. That one's I think it's like, oh, okay. Oh, all right.
All right. Yeah.
Not the fancy stuff.
Okay. They're doing okay if they've got that. All right. Anybody else got one?
I think growing up, it would have been more than one TV.
Really?
Yeah. Really.
More than one TV.
Well, like when I was a little kid, because we had the console TVs.
Yeah.
If you had a TV in your room, like if I went to your house and
you had a TV in your room, I was like, ooh.
I didn't, just because my mom didn't like it, and so it was just a rule that we could have, but it was just a rule. But if someone had a TV in their room, I'm like, oh, you fancy, okay.
Yeah. See, I and I get what Kathy said because I'm the same era, but I just had a different situation because my parents, again, this is how old I am. My parents finally transitioned. There wasn't anything wrong with their TV, but they wanted to transition from black and white to color. So they're like, "Oh, you can have that." And I was a little kid, like 2 or 3. I had a TV in my room at like 2 or 3. Now it's a big TV. It was old time. It was old time TV, and I had that in my room. That thing worked my whole life living at the house. So I had that thing. Probably we just threw it away at some point. It didn't die. And then they got the console color TV. So yeah, nice. I had 2 TVs. My sister didn't get one, but she's younger than me, so that's what happened.
Maybe that's why she's so angry now.
Probably, maybe that's where her inner anger comes from.
Does she listen?
No, she doesn't listen. Okay. No interest in bourbon or anything I have to say. So that's a great combination why she would not listen. But yeah, she eventually got one, and by that time they had the smaller TVs, so she got like a smaller color TV. Again, you had to if you wanted to change the channel, you'd have to click.
Yep.
Oh yeah, right.
There's no remote control or anything. So yeah.
I want to add in one more from when I was a child that made my friend like it felt really cool because we had this, but the only reason that we had it was because my dad's work bought all this stuff because he worked from home, but we had 2 separate computers to use. One was for my dad's secretary, so we could use it after she went home. And then on top of that, we also had, I think it was DSL internet.
Ooh.
And so we didn't have dial-up. We just had the fastest internet.
That's amazing.
That you could have. And we had 3 different phone lines.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
and the only reason we had all these things was because my dad's work. And so we had to.
Yep.
But my house was the house to go and use the computer.
Other kids come over and they'll be like, "Holy cow!"
Yeah, it's like, "Whoa, you got all this stuff," and
Boltons are killing it.
Yeah, it's like we weren't at all, but my dad's job bought it for him, so he just would be like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna need this." Like he just tell him that, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, of course." They just get it for him. So that was I felt like we were super fancy, although we were not at all fancy, but it sure did feel like it back then.
I bet it
had
did.
a lot of music from Napster.
Oh yeah, we crashed we crashed that computer a lot. Lots of viruses on that thing.
Right.
I did feel fancy bragging to my friends on AOL, I don't have to get off for my mom to make a phone call because we have a second phone line.
Yeah, it's
felt
sorry.
So fancy.
Yeah.
Sorry, losers.
Yes. I used it as my personal line. I would give out that number to my friends to call me.
Yep.
But then I had a phone in my room for our main phone number, but that one had a phone hooked up behind our computer cabinet. So if I wanted to talk to someone, then I'd have to go sit on the ground in the living room, next to the computer cabinet. But I felt fancy because it was my own number.
Oh yeah. Top tier.
We felt fancy with call waiting, and so we had call waiting, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And then Linda and I were dating when we were in high school, and we would talk for hours on the phone. And my parents, I think, hated it because we just tied up the phone line so much.
Right.
So we would talk at late at night, and one of us would call time and temperature, be on with time and temperature, and wait for the call waiting to buzz through, and basically click over, talk to each other.
Gotcha. Then, so you wouldn't have it ringing.
Yeah, so it would never ring in the house.
That's the play. Yeah.
That's funny.
Very smart.
So then there was one night hung up, and for whatever reason, time and temperature was still on the line at Linda's house, and so it rang the phone back, and her mom picks it up and says, "Why is time and temperature calling it?"
Well, it wants you to know. It wants you to know. Now, there's a whole
very important information.
We have all ages of listeners and stuff like that. There's people right now going time and temperature. What are you talking about?
That was the coolest.
Why you're calling for that? It's on my phone. Why do I need to make a call for that?
Yeah.
It reminds me now that when you're getting ready to take off in an airplane in general aviation, you go to the radio station that gives you all the weather information. And I always think of calling time and temperature.
Right.
Then when it's telling me the current temperature and the dew point and visibility and everything, that it feels nostalgic. I like it.
You guys still remember your time and temperature phone number?
321.
Any 4 numbers. 321. Any 4 numbers was the old time and temperature.
Oh, ours was.
You might have assigned it a number, Kathy, but it was any 4.
Ours was 8525252.
852-5252.
Kathy, was it 321-3222? Wasn't it?
Eventually.
Or
Yeah, I
did-
think
okay.
so.
Eventually, yes. If you were my age.
Gosh,
We could do
I pity
anything.
the person that has that phone number now. Sorry.
Well, you wanted to pick the,
Yeah, can
the
you
small
imagine?
numbers because your rotary phone
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Rotary
takes
phone.
so long to.
Yeah. I mean, status things. I mean, I go back. I have a ton of them when I was a kid because my mom was very cheap, very frugal. We weren't allowed to have American cheese because it had processing. There was a piece of plastic with a slice on there. She would not buy that. She'd buy the log of Velveeta and she would cut it for you. You're like, well, they're really thin on there. I could cut a thin slice on the Velveeta with that little thing with the little.
Oh yeah, you get the slicer and you held at an
Yeah,
angle.
it has the
so
roller
that
and that.
it's thinner.
It always made like this thing at the bottom of the cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom could tell you she could get that away. She wouldn't, and I didn't get the status is very important when you're a little kid, and I didn't get to wear Nikes when they started making those, and I wanted the Nikes because everybody had Nikes. Dan Braden had Nikes. I didn't get to have my Nikes, and then she's like, well, you can make Tracks and Tracks from Kmart. It's her private brand. They're much more affordable. So I
Like, wow, thanks, and I'm a loser.
the
Thanks,
Kmart
Mom.
brand. Yeah, my mom.
My dad would tell us when we were kids, we're so rich that we can afford to grind our steaks into burgers.
That's adorable.
Yeah, that's
And it was
good.
like, damn, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got a ton of those. We could do a whole show about stuff my mom would cut corners on, but she doesn't like when I talk about that. Yeah. She would tell you she was doing the best she could. So that's,
Of course.
that's what we have to live with. So there you go. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? We're going to start this time with Beka, who looks ready to go.
I am ready to go. I've got some MB rolling here. It's a single barrel. I don't know if there's anything special about it. And I think we just got it at the distillery when we visited there a few years ago.
Okay, solid. Some things working against it. You had a significant squeak as well as slosh at the end. It could play into the factor here in our scoring. We'll see how it goes. We're going to have Katie go next.
Okay. For talking about non-Kentucky whiskeys, it's a sample, but it is Widow Jane Black Opal that my friend
Okay.
Tim McKee sent me from Whiskey Wednesdays. I'm very excited to try this.
Okay.
Let's see. And this little
She's
sample
turning
bottle.
it up. I can hear it getting louder.
Yeah.
This sample bottle does have a cork, so we'll see if it works. No. It did not.
Sounded like up
tried.
goes the weasel or something.
It gave like a
Wollersheim. I got Wollersheim. I'm going to pick a barrel there tomorrow, so we'll see if I can get one as good as this. So, yeah, Wisconsin. All right, here we go. No, nothing there. Becca's got the lead still. Matt, you're next. You won last time. Let's see how you do this time.
We'll see. I've got Art of the Spirit, Colorado whiskey. This is the Fosnot bottle.
Okay. Oh! Cannon fire. Yeah. All right, KK, that's what you got to beat.
All right. I don't think I am. I've got a Colorado whiskey. It's the 10th Mountain Single Malt.
Okay. That was nice. That was nice. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Kathy,
Not a
shake your head.
cannon.
Yeah. I mean, when you compare it to that, so it's still a solid effort, but not quite enough. Matt wins, so cheers to him.
Cheers again.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about this list. We're going to talk about who they said are some states we should go and visit outside of Kentucky. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
Are you starting?
Yeah, of course. This will sound like good conversation for the show.
Jesus.
You're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Making a damn bumper.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about distilleries outside of Kentucky.
Yes, we are. So, they make the case that if you're looking to explore further your bourbon journey, that maybe you want to go to some outside of Kentucky, and they throw them out and they give backup as to why they say that. Kathy, you want to run down the list? Who we'll talk about each one as we go. So,
Okay.
Who's the first one on the list?
First one is Indiana.
Indiana. Okay.
Indiana has Ross and Squibb.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be. It does again. So I this gets into this whole thing for me that we're in the toilet with our bourbon journalism. We don't have any bourbon journalism. I get the fact that if we're talking about states producing, this is about expanding your interest in these. You can't go and visit MGP.
Yeah, you literally can't even go there.
You can't go there.
You're talking about Indiana, Starlight, and Hard Truth.
Right.
That you should have immediately on there.
They don't even mention Hard Truth. Hard Truth doesn't even get a shout out. Yeah.
Starlight does.
Old
Starlight
55.
Old 55, I was going to say.
Old 55 is in Indiana.
Yeah.
That's on there.
French Lick is in Indiana.
Right.
That did not make it.
Yep. West Fork is the other one that gets in there.
There's.
But it's fun because how are you gonna expand your bourbon journey by visiting MGP? Stand
Driving past.
Yeah.
Sitting in the parking lot.
You can do the drive-by and the wave. So.
And I mean,
that
really,
kind of stuff just
you could purposely experience MGP without leaving your hometown, because you can go find MGP products anywhere.
True.
So if you're not up for a road trip, you could focus on enjoying some product that originated in Indiana by getting an MGP product. If you're not going to go to next distillery.
Yeah. And I wish there was some sort of official study that did this, because it's big numbers. You wonder how many brands in your average liquor store, what percentage is actually MGP?
Oh, that would be fascinating.
It would be fascinating to see some sort of, because it is a lot. And many people drink MGP and don't even know it. But there's a lot of brands that rely on MGP. Again, is Indiana one of the states that is key to whiskey making in America? Yes. But they could have hit home better. It's not a bad choice on the list. It's just I don't think they did a good job of explaining it. Again, all right. What's next, Kathy?
Next, we have the state of Colorado, and they do say craft distilleries shine.
Yes.
The craft
Yes.
distilleries that they talk about
Are
Boulder Spirits.
yeah. Again, this drives me crazy. Because number one, they missed the big point of here's something that's unique about Colorado that really Colorado should be banging the drum about is if you're looking at pot distilled whiskey, there's not a distillery in Colorado that I'm aware of. There's probably one because there's a lot of distilleries, but that utilizes a continuous column still. They're all pot distilled. That's gonna be going a pot distilled journey and taste the difference. So I think that would be something that could be hit on there potentially. But also, I think if we literally had to create a list of the best distillers in the country, Todd Leopold might be at the top of the list of active distillers. I get the Jimmy Russell thing. He's not really an active distiller at this point. He has the title and the figurehead, but I think if we had a most creative distillers, I think he should be mentioned in here.
Yeah.
And you can go visit him in his place. Not mentioned.
Well, and you got friends of the show, right? Art of the Spirit. Sam,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You've got Lenny and
Lenny, there's great, again, that belongs on here. I agree, but help us out here. Give us.
I do agree. I think that's the major downfall of AI and not going to, not even an expert, but just someone who would know the qualifications of a certain field and like who to talk to or what to ask and what to look for. Because if you would know certain parameters, even you could still put it into a search engine or to AI and get information without personally having knowledge. But they're keeping it so generic with no indication of knowledge in the industry at all that then they're getting useless information that they're putting out.
Right.
so funny you mentioned it, Katie. So I threw everything into AI just to see what it comes up with ultimately. And so for Colorado, it actually brought up Leopold Brothers. It said
Okay.
Leopold Brothers
It
pioneered
should.
local grains, experimenting with malted barley whiskeys. And it's like, yeah.
It should.
As
You can
it
see
should,
unique
yeah.
things. You can see unique things at Leopold Brothers that you can't see anywhere else. How incredible is that? You're like every distillery tour is the same. It's not the same at Leopold Brothers because they're floor malting and all this stuff. You can actually see how that works. You usually got to go to Scotland to see something like that. All right, the next one on our list. What is it, Kathy? This is the first one we're getting into. I don't think it deserves to be on the list.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
if we're going to say the bottom five, maybe a top five. Come on.
Dang, that was harsh.
All right, so here's who I like.
Oh,
here-
shots fired.
Here's the list of great Illinois distillers. Old Monroe.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your list. Worth visiting. 100% Old Monroe is. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the great U.S. distillers. After that, give me a break.
Did
So
not
how do
make
we
the
think they
list.
came up with this?
Well, if you read it, they have a great distilling history. Well, I get that. If I'm going to research, Peoria at one time was kind of the epicenter of the whiskey world in America. Cool. That doesn't help me on my bourbon journey today.
Yeah.
You know, they're
They're
not
just
that.
pointing out the grain production, which is
Right.
okay. Got it. Yeah.
Is Few Illinois?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Few is on the list. Whiskey Acres.
Yes. And they're both solid. They're solid. Great. I mean, Old
No
Monroe's
Old-
great.
no Old Monroe
Monroe's
on
great.
this.
Old Monroe's
Okay.
great.
So, Steve, what state, in your opinion, should replace Illinois in this list?
I would say there's two that stand out away to me, and we haven't talked about the whole list yet, but there's two that you're not going to hear that I think should be under consideration. I think that's Wisconsin. I think they have a nice list of great distillers that are making some really great stuff and are creative and different. And then I think Missouri. I think Missouri belongs on there. You look at solid places like Still 630, an urban distillery. You've got Demetrius Kane with what he's doing, farm to table distillery. You've got Gary and more, a knowledge base that is tapped into by large distilleries like Buffalo Trace and others. Bring Gary in to tell us about corn, and we're looking at doing some. What should we? I mean, that makes it pretty special. You're looking to go on a bourbon journey and expand your bourbon knowledge and see different things. That's some that are there right away.
What about like Ohio or Texas?
Texas, yes. Ohio, no. Ohio, I think Middle West is, again, kind of in the situation with Old Monroe. I think Middle West is a standout and is in the discussions of great U.S. distilleries. But And I think they've got a few other decent ones, kind of like we talked about in Illinois. There's a couple others that are decent, and then a significant drop off.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Ohio and
I said Ohio and Texas.
oh, Texas. I think Texas is just different enough where it belongs in that discussion. You've got a little bit of everything there from start of with Garrison Brothers, the start of the craft movement, one of the OGs of craft distilling, to people who are doing unique things with grains, like the Licorice Brothers are doing. And then you've got Balcones, which is, whether you love them or not, it's been around a long time. You've got Still Austin, kind of a trendy, younger, but again, it's a big state. It's hard to explore that unless you got a lot of time.
Sure.
But yeah, Texas could belong on there too.
I find it interesting that none of these conversations are including Tennessee as well, which I agree.
They talk about Tennessee.
Right.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. Yeah, just having Jack alone when you're talking about American whiskey and exploration. I
think to a degree they hurt themselves though by the creation of the Tennessee whiskey
Yeah.
separation.
Yeah.
That then they remove themselves from other discussions
Right.
about whiskey and then the exception of bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Who's next?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. I mean, I do like Stolen Wolf, and they're mentioned in there. I saw, which is nice. Liberty Pole is mentioned in there as well, and I do like them. I think they're pretty creative. Again, it has a combination of history. They're a weaker one on this list, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Because you're not talking about brands. Again, we point out a couple of brands there. They're really not big players outside of the area where people would know them and to seek them out, other than reading an article like this. So, some of the other ones we've talked about, there's a buzz about them that has been created, and you want to go visit them. But again, if you're doing your research, I guess, and maybe this is pointing you in that direction, maybe. But I do think Pennsylvania, questionable, but.
Yeah,
there's some good ones there.
couple AI points to bring up, right? So, Claude says the state's limestone-rich water in regions like Susquehanna Valley provide ideal mineral content. Whiskey Rebellion of 1794.
There's history there for sure, and the water thing, I think, is a tough argument these days, only because what they can do with water, they can get you the same by reverse osmosis and adding in minerals that you need. You can have the same water that anybody has anywhere in America, the way that they do things. So it's taken out that argument. I mean, that used to be the traditional argument. Why was Kentucky special? Why was Tennessee special? Well, it's the water that they've got. No one can match that. And again, that was a pretty solid argument for maybe hundreds of years, but I don't think we're at that point anymore. And some people still want to bring that up, but
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got one more.
We do. It is the state of New York.
Yeah. New York, so many distilleries, there's going to be great exploration there. And I think that the New York definitely belongs on the list, for sure. But they've got some good ones. And they said King County, which I definitely agree with that. Widow Jane obviously is a big time known one. Katie, you went and visited them. What was that like?
Oh, yes. Loved it. Yeah, absolutely. And especially being in Red Hook, the whole Red Hook area of Brooklyn is so cool. Mm-hmm. And so seeing the entire area, it feels very historic as well, especially Kings County does as well. And so I saw both of them on the same day and went there. Really liked both of them. Really have some cool stuff they're working on. And then both of them felt, I think, like down to earth and small enough to visit and be approachable.
Right.
But they also have the distribution as well, especially I think Widow Jane has pretty good distribution, at least here in Missouri, that I've seen. And so
Kings County's not bad either, really. I mean, they're kind of out there. But yeah, I think they belong on the list for sure. Yeah, they're solid. So, what are your guys' thoughts about that? I've shared a lot of what I think. Anybody else have anything to add? Things that should be on, maybe a state that should be on there that wasn't, or anything like that?
I definitely liked New York being on there. That one always comes up in my mind. Indiana naturally does as well. So I thought at least they weren't totally off point. I thought they did a decent job with the states that they listed.
Yeah.
I didn't have quite as strong feelings about Illinois being on there. I was a little bit like, what's in Illinois again? But
Yeah.
Right.
when I first read it.
Right.
Yeah, I think they got 3 out of 5. I mean, Colorado deserves to be there. I don't know that they necessarily hit the highlights that they should have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree, Colorado. Yeah, if I had to make my 5, Colorado would be on the list, as would New York. Let's see, what else do they have? Indiana would have to be. Tennessee might be, maybe Missouri, Wisconsin. I don't know. I'd have to really get into it. But Pennsylvania would not. Again, there's certainly some distilleries I like there, but I don't think it would make the cut. And Illinois would not make the cut.
My only other observation is, holy hell, the ads on this website. I mean,
Yeah.
No, they're everywhere.
Oh my gosh. I made the comment on a few of the articles we pulled up for today's recording, but especially this website. I
Right.
told John I felt like I was back in the 90s when like it was just pop up. It's gotten so bad on some websites.
Right. Yeah, it's
I
ridiculous.
get you need to make money and you need clicks, but come on.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like I was getting a virus.
Yeah, probably were. So there you go. On that note, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Matt, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on my website, sabertoothcyber.com.
Okay, Katie.
You can find me over on Instagram at Katie Proof.
Kathy.
I am on Instagram at KK Castrate.
Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We're online, abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.